What is going on, guys? My name is Chaos Pro,
And I am Skinny Lad Chris.
and we are your Marvel Rivals podcast hosts. Today, we have a very special guest. We have the Marvel Rivals Guide on our channel, and today we're going to be talking to him about all things content for Marvel Rivals. So, Mr. Marvel Rivals Guide, how are you doing, man?
What's up, Rivalers? Happy to be here, man. Thank you for having me on, guys.
I love your voice already. So-
It's
it's so good.
amazing.
every time
Thanks.
I start your channel, I'm like, dude, he's got the voice, man. Yeah, so we have this special guest today, and we're gonna be asking him a boatload of questions, basically revolving around doing content around Marvel Rivals and some other fun stuff. So before we go ahead and get into this, tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background. You know, anything you want to let the audience know.
Sure. My name is Marvel Rivals Guides. I think the community has like sort of realized that's kind of a mouthful for a name, so they've started calling me stuff like Guides or Mr. Guides. I don't really care what you guys call me. Guides is fine, I guess. Um, I do have a background in content creation. I've been playing video games my entire life. I've been reading comics for basically my entire life. So I just figured a game like Marvel Rivals was absolutely perfect for me because it kind of just like took two things that I already really, really love and enjoy doing, and I would do anyways. And on top of that, I've always really loved bringing value to people and entertaining people. Like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, that's me, I guess.
Speaking of bringing value, Chris saw some really nice value that you posted not too
I
long
know.
ago.
Yesterday I watched your Scarlet Witch guide and it was actually great.
Oh,
I,
thank
I
you,
thought
man. Thank you.
I actually
So
thought it was
good.
really informing. Like coming
Thank
from
you.
someone who's top 500, it was really good.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I got the the high elo seal of approval because making those types of guides, obviously, when the game launches, there's going to be a huge influx of people who are brand new to not just the game, but hero shooters and possibly even like the concept of competitive team games in general. So I tried to make them, simple enough that normal people can come in and understand exactly what the character's all about after watching it, but also at the same time like in depth enough that people like you who are, I don't need to explain to you what Scarlet Witch's abilities do, but
Can you explain it
that's
to
great
me?
to hear that.
Yeah, I think Chaos might need some explaining.
I'm glad that you got some value out of it as well. That's definitely what I'm aiming for.
One
Yeah,
thing,
for sure.
one thing I when I was watching it, I was like, oh, he's talking about the shadow daggers that she has. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, he knows Chris's trick, man. You just gotta
Yeah, he knows
spam
it.
those, dude.
You
You gotta
you never
spam
want to
them.
have like one part of that video I actually loved, guides, is if you have more than one dagger, you have too many.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Because
good.
she kind of
Can't
got
hold 'em.
pigeonholed into being like, oh, she's the noob character because all you have to do is left click. But that's a bit of a bait, isn't it? Right? Because like when you get into more skilled levels of play, it's actually the right click that most people are using. Like it's much more higher prioritized.
Yeah, especially like one other thing too is that you can't get healed during the dash. I had
Yep.
so many people ask me, like, why am I dying when I'm dashing in the middle of like four people? Like, why am I
Yep.
not getting healed? And a bunch of people just don't know you can't get healed.
Yep, yep. So it's a bit of a trade-off. And like I think that's what's really beautiful about this game so far, anyways, is that all of these characters, like on paper, have very, very simple kits. Like Venom, you swing, you dive. Like Scarlet Witch, you hold left click and go invisible, right? But like
Mhm.
beyond that, once you get beyond like the surface level, there's some really, really like hidden complexity here. So super excited for everyone to get their hands on the game and just like blow people's preconceived notions of what these characters are wide open because we're still on the very first layer of figuring out like what these characters are all about.
Yeah, there's gonna be once it full release happens, there's gonna be so many people who take the characters to like to
Yeah,
levels people didn't know were possible.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait. And like I'm excited for that stuff too because like characters that we think are divers might actually be like like play completely different at certain levels of play. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited to see people crack the game wide open.
So basically, we're gonna basically get into some of the questions here, and one of the things I wanted to bring up was your channel. Your channel is the technically, it's the fastest Marvel Rivals channel, growing channel in the world at the moment. You've accumulated 22,300 subscribers as of right now, and 1.6, a little over 1.6 million views already. And you just made a brand new account back in April. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to him, subscribe to us, get all that nonsense plug out of the way. But the point I'm making is that you are growing exponentially fast, and we wanted to kind of cover that. What made you want to make a brand new channel and cover Marvel Rivals?
Like I talked about in the intro a little bit. Well, first of all, thank you for the plug. I appreciate you saying that people
subscribe
people
to
should check. I
Everybody, go
appreciate that.
show 'em love.
As for why I made the channel, I think it was just kind of like what I talked about. It's just like the perfect. I realized that this game was going to be special, and I'm not even joking when I say this. When Marvel teased the game, and all we could see was the first teaser image of the game was just a bunch of unfilled out silhouettes of characters. And like I saw that and I was like, oh, that one's Rocket Raccoon. And like you could kind of tell who some of them were. It's like, oh, that looks like Magneto. But like the angularity of it all and just like the designs, like I could tell this game had sauce. Like you could just tell when you looked at it. And like before we even saw any gameplay or even like any official art, they released this teaser image with just silhouettes. And I was like, that's going to be, I don't know, man. It spoke to me. But the game is just kind of like a culmination of all my interest. So I'm really passionate about everything that the game has going for it, from the characters and Marvel's expansive legacy and hero shooters. It's all just kind of like it's hitting the spots for me. So it was a no-brainer for me. The whole like my channel's the fastest growing channel or whatever, that I can't like take credit for that. That is all the community, and like I'm very, very humbled and honored to be accepted by this community of people who are just as passionate and like excited about this game as I am. Like I am just happy to be in this position where, you know, it blew me away when I did my first stream and there was like over 4,000 people watching.
That's
and
crazy.
it was just like such a cool feeling.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is like it just felt right to be part of a community that was as excited about this cool thing as I was.
You know who you remind me of? Did you ever play Marvel Snap, the card game?
I've played it a little bit.
There's another content creator that you remind me of. Super well production, super well high quality. I'm telling people right now, you're like the Marvel, you're like the cozy Snap of Marvel Rivals. You're the guy with the best production. You've got the best guides.
Oh, thank you.
Information, and that's a compliment. That guy is like that. Really, kudos. Like your content is engaging, and I have to say it's well thought out. It's
well,
not
thank you,
lazy at
man.
all.
I'm looking this cozy Snap guy up right now, and he's extremely handsome. So you know what? I'm gonna
Yes.
assume that you mean that I'm handsome as well.
Yeah,
I'm,
two
Majestic.
extremely handsome individuals.
Yeah, Cozy's he's a good dude, and but yeah. So Chris, do you want to go ahead and start us off with some other stuff?
Yeah. Also, do you have any like? Because me, speaking from just me personally, I saw your stuff before I even started working on my own stuff, like putting out videos. So do you have any new things you want to like? Any advice to give people when you start from like scratch?
I it's tough because people start channels for different reasons. Some people just want, you know, something to do, fun on the weekends. I've seen like, you know, dads and kids start their own channel, and it's like obviously they're not trying to become the next big household name in YouTube, right? So it's like I guess my blanket advice would be start a channel for the right reason. For me, it came purely from like a place of passion, and I think that I think that came across in like even my very first video when I had 0 subscribers. You know, the 6 people that checked out the video, they felt that, you know, this video was being made from a place of like love and passion and excitement. And I think if it's not, if you make channel and content for like the wrong reasons, it comes across. And like people are not as stupid as you think they are. Like people are very perceptive to when people are being inauthentic or just doing it, you know, for the views or doing it for whatever reason. Like, so I guess that would be my advice, is just make sure you're making content for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm. That's
Does that make
great
sense?
advice. Yeah, that's
Chris,
good.
I don't
I
think
think
you
it
have
came
anything.
across well.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. You got a cat for a logo.
I mean, okay. Do not make fun of my cooked logo, okay?
I like it, man. It's got a charm to it.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, everyone's liked it so far. I
everyone
don't know what
loves
you're
it.
talking
It's
about,
becoming
Chaos.
the channel mascot, dude.
It's gotta be.
Okay, so another thing that I wanted to actually quickly ask was, um, let's see here. What is your okay? So this one's a good one. What is your favorite part of making content that you would like to share to inspire others to create Rivals content? So a little like the question we just asked, but more of like the sense like, what would you like to ask or tell the audience essentially like, this game is going to be fun for this kind of reason, and this is why you should be making content for it.
Oh man. So you want me to give a reason why people should be interested in making content around Marvel Rivals?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Um, I would say, man, that's a tough question. I mean, play the game. Like seriously, play the game. Interact with. Just watch a video of someone playing it. Like I think people came into this game like the closed beta and were really surprised by it. Like you had Overwatch players that kind of expected it to be. A lot of people were parading it around and saying that it was a clone or it's going to be this and that or holding some sort of prejudice against it. And I would say the number one way to get excited about making content around this game is to just play it, which, you can't do literally right now, but watch someone playing it.
This is so good.
Watch someone play it for the first time. And like, I think that you will absorb some of their excitement for it because this game surprised a lot of people.
What is your honest favorite part though when you're doing content and you're making it? What's like your favorite part about doing it?
My favorite part of content is I really like, especially with this channel, feeling like I am riding a wave. It's kind of like when you're in a crowd at a concert and like it's maybe a little bit of a smaller concert. We're not talking like Taylor Swift or anything here. Like maybe like a basement concert even, right? It's like a local basement rock concert, but everyone that's there is super passionate about the band because they went out of their way to do it, right? Like this is people were talking and playing Marvel Rivals 6 months before it came out. And the game will probably grow and grow and grow, but especially at the beginning, it just felt like I get that feeling of when you go to a concert and like everyone there knows every lyric to every song. And you're just like in a crowd of people who are all excited to be there for the same thing.
I have to agree on that. Purely because like when I was playing other games, earlier this year, and I got into content creating last year, and I was really hard into it, but I was getting kind of like my first ever like real burnout, and then I got a month. It was like March or April, and they're like, "Oh, Marvel Rivals. Here's a random trailer just released, dropped," and then I'm like, "Marvel's making a shooter." And
Yes.
oh my god, I cleared my schedule for 2 weeks. I took like all the time off, and I was sitting there, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna play a Marvel game and a shooter, and they're like one in the same, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, dude, this game is amazing. And then when I went,
Yes.
and I was like, they're like, it's a closed alpha, and I was scavenging to get like invited to it. And I made a reaction video, and then they were like, hey, we liked your reaction video. We'd like to give you an access key. I was like, awesome. And so I started playing, right? I started playing it, and I was like, it's an alpha. This game is not going to be a fully developed game. It's going to have a bunch of bugs and stuff. And little behold, the game was perfect.
Yeah, it's a very well polished game for as early in its life cycle as it was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's games
Also,
that have like years of patches that don't really reach like this level of quality. So I think that's one of the most promising things about it is that like they didn't come out with like a half baked test product for us to all test for them. Like it was ready to go. Like it worked.
Yeah.
It was fun. Everything's functioning. They just gotta ship it basically.
What are you gonna say, Chris?
yeah, I was gonna say, uh, Guides touched on it earlier, but I think there's so many of my friends who looked at the game from the first trailer and were like, this doesn't really look like my kind of game. I'm not gonna play it. But
Yeah.
then when I actually got them to play it, they loved it. Like
Yeah.
even the
It's
people who thought
fun
like who were hating on it, thought it wasn't gonna look good, they played it and they had the time of their lives. the whole beta and alpha.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. Like a lot of people came in and were just like, "Oh, this is going to be this is going to be that. This is going to be like a fun time waster." And then they get into it, and it's just like, "Oh, the game is very good." Like already.
Yeah, like even my
So-
friends who aren't familiar with Marvel at all, just from a gameplay perspective, they loved it.
Yeah.
I like how there's a hero for everyone. Like literally, we talked about this before, but there's literally a hero for every single person. Like Groot is for the Fortnite gamers, Punisher is for the Call of Duty players, Hela is for like the Valorant guys and CS:GO guys. You know, it's like
Yeah.
there's literally and then you have your Doomfist lovers, which in my opinion, Captain America and like Venom are like Doomfist and hamsters, and like you just have a little bit of sauce with its own identity for every. Like, there's a character for everyone.
Yep, I agree.
So Chris, I think you have another question for him. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was gonna say during the playtest, how did you spend most of your time, and why wasn't it spent with Jeff?
Okay, what? Well, joke's on you because most of my time was spent with Jeff.
Okay,
We have a
I
first.
stand corrected.
We have a first.
I did spend a lot of time with Jeff. I was actually gonna make a because my channel is still kind of like in its infancy as well. So I was kind of experimenting with the type of content that I was wanting to put out, and I was so close to putting out a 3-hour gameplay of Jeff that you could like fall asleep to. And like there'd be like a little animated Jeff in the bottom left corner with like the sleep bubbles coming out.
That's
and-
amazing.
Yeah, and just like chill Jeff gameplay. So I did spend a lot of time with Jeff. Venom is probably my most played though. Like since day one, Venom was like my go-to. Like, man, I hope that he gets put into the game. So it was a really good day in my household when he got announced, and then when we finally got to play him. And it's like I didn't really click super well with any of the tanks, and I'm a firm believer that like you should probably play at least 1 or 2 of every class. So Venom is like finally like it clicked with me. And I was just like, that's my tank. Venom is my guy.
Yeah, if it clicks, you got to go with it. That's how it was
Yes.
with Scarlet. You find a character you like, just play who you think is fun,
Who did
so you
you
can play them good.
Who did you enjoy during like the alpha testing?
The first
Before-
test,
before Venom. Yeah, before Venom.
man, that's like it's like a whole other calendar. It's like BC, it's like before Venom.
It feels like so long ago.
It feels like a really long time ago. I did play a lot of Scarlet. Oh no, man. Oh gosh. I don't even want to say this because like there's like a running meme within my community that I'm a Star-Lord one trick. Because like the first couple of days I hardcore grinded Star-Lord, and I was like figuring out all kinds of like movement tech, and every time like we were losing, I'd be like, oh, I have to pull out the Star-Lord. And then everyone in the chat was like, oh, here comes the Star-Lord one trick. So Star-Lord's my guy. I do play a bit of Scarlet. Venom was like where I spent most of my time though, probably.
Got all your attention on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, it's a fun character. I'm just really happy they gave us that Marvel vs. Capcom like blue skin,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude.
That was really
that's-
cool.
I was like, yes, I'm grinding for that.
Dude, I get that vibe from like a lot of the skins though, because like you're super happy because it's like bringing back. You used to play Marvel vs. Capcom then?
Oh yeah, anything. Look at my room. Everything, eat, sleep, and breathe. Marvel.
Oh yeah. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I love that they're pulling like deep cut stuff for skins and like their bios. Like you can just tell that like these guys know their stuff, and like I don't know, man. It's just this definitely feels like a game that's like buy-in for the fans.
Yeah, I one thing that I personally genuinely really like about the game is kind of back to that bio thing. When they talked, I'm sure you watched all the dev talks. Essentially, I mean, I know you've covered some of it.
Yeah.
The dev talks, they basically bring up like, oh, when we created characters, we tried to like create a character, but with like the little bit of a remnants of like we looked at all of their comic books, and
Right.
even though they weren't a part of this, they would grab a little bit of here from this series, a little bit of here from this series, and then they would accumulate essentially what they would think what could work in a game. Like we'll take Hela for instance, her Raven or her Crow. That was a part of like some random story, like solo story that she had during like some kind of saga, and then she has other abilities that weren't a part of that, and so they just take little bits of here and there and that make it work. And then they give you like a bio, and they tell you like, this is where this came from, or this is the skin from this comic book. I love that.
Yeah,
It feels invested.
sorry if I was cutting you off there.
No, you're good.
Yeah, it definitely feels like not only are they pulling from like lots and lots of different like Marvel legacies and like universes. I mean, there's obvious influences from like the MCU and some of the designs, and then there's obvious influences from just like straight up yoinking what they look like one to one in the comic books, or maybe tweaking it a little bit. But then they're also not afraid to go like one layer deeper. Like Psylocke's
Yes.
appearance in the game is taken from not even what she looks like in the comic, but like an alternate universe comic. So it's like there really are no limits here from what they're pulling in like direct inspiration from. And it's really cool because like we got some more classic looking things. Like Venom is like, that's a very classic Venom design, right? That it basically looks like how he looks in most of his comic appearances. But then you've got, Psylocke, who has a completely alternate universe look, and just I don't know, they're pulling from a lot of different stuff, and like it makes it exciting because when a new character gets revealed, he's not going to look exactly how we know him to look. So it's like, I don't know, we just get new designs, and game is just awesome.
Winter Soldier, in my honest opinion, is the staple card, like the staple hero in this game that you really would never expect him to have a hook arm.
Yeah.
Like that is the coolest thing. When I saw that, I was like, how are they going to make Bucky Barnes work? Like, how are they going to make the Winter Soldier work? And then they gave him a hook arm, and I'm like, you have my attention. You have
and the hook arm like breaks off into like little metal tendrils because of the Hydra influence. It's just like that's so clever, man.
It's
like
so
they're doing
good.
a lot of really clever things.
Doing justice to the Marvel fan base for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I think let's see here. Chris, I think you're next up.
Oh yeah, wait. Speaking of the fan base, how often, because this is another thing we've talked about before too, we're kind of curious on what people think of it, is like how often do you think they're going to do updates? Like whether it be skins or just content in general? Like is there a certain amount you'd want to be released every period, or just the schedule?
That's tough because I think in the first year of the game, people are going to be expecting a certain pace. I mean, it's like a cutthroat industry out there, right? Like you have to keep people's attention, and not only that, you have to come out with new content enough to keep the people that are playing your game happy, while also hopefully, like if someone falls off of playing the game, but then one of their character gets brought back into the game, you want that to be a selling point to be like, hey, come check us out. This game is still really fun. So it's like the first year of the game being out, I would expect very, very rapid updates. Again, that's pure speculation. I would hope that we're getting, upwards of like 10 new characters in this first year. But maybe that's just us being spoiled from like, we're already getting so many characters.
Yeah, we're getting so many characters, whether it just be from the beta.
If we got 10 new characters a year,
yeah,
I'm never
that
getting
would
off
be
this
awesome.
game.
Yeah, I'm never leaving it.
I hope they do something like that, like a Rainbow Six Siege or like League of Legends, where there's just so many. There's so many, and let that just let it be it. Like there's so much flavor. I like that. What
right.
Okay, so let me ask you this. We always ask a wish list question. What hero would you like to have, and what villain would you like to have? A wish list.
Okay.
This is not
right.
These are not confirmed. These are just purely, what is a character that you would absolutely take a month off of work to specifically just play nothing but that character?
Well, I've got my, this character will probably get in someday, and then I've got my, there's no chance, there's no way. So which one of those do you want to hear?
I want to hear your no chance first because I want to laugh.
Okay. It's a character named Doorman. And I don't know.
Okay.
He's a member of the Great Lakes Avengers in the comics, which is like kind of the B team, not even the B team. It's like the D team, where like they're technically on, they're technically a real Avengers team, but it's like they they fight crime in like really like small neighborhoods and handle like really really small picture stuff. So a lot of the characters are like the absolute I don't want to say the worst of the worst, but like completely unknown characters. Characters that are typically seen as like not
Oh.
successful superheroes kind of go on this team.
Doorman.
And
I like
yeah,
this.
I've just always
Yeah.
loved his design. He's got this really clean black and white design with like this like domino effect on his face. It's just cool. Look it up. Doorman, man.
That
He's
easy. You
great.
listen up, okay? This man needs
Yes.
some doorman in his life,
Yes.
all right?
It is
Yeah, I mean,
Doorman.
I'm looking at him right now. He does look cool. He looks
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I gotta have to look this up.
So
All right. So what is the other one?
well, I'm hoping this character gets in someday. And like it's one of those things where I've imagined what his kit will be a million times and like, oh man, he'd just be so fun. Is Nightcrawler.
Yes.
I've seen
Yes,
a
that'd be
people
sick.
for him, but yeah, you just like I don't know, he's just one of those characters that makes sense in the game, right? Like I can just imagine like teleporting all over the game.
With swords though?
I want Nightcrawler, like Nightcrawler, everything. I want the teleporting, I want the swords,
Dude,
the
yes.
whole Nightcrawler experience.
I want him to like as an ultimate, I want him to have like just start praying and then just like
Yeah.
some teleport, just a bunch of like just I don't know. Some like Psylocke, but it'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
What about you guys? What's your like? Do you have any like completely off the wall picks?
Off the wall, it would be US Agent. I don't know what they would do. I don't really see
Yeah.
him. I'm just a Captain America, massive Captain America fan. That's just for me. I think Skinny Lad.
Mine's a tricky one because the one character I really want is Carnage, but there's already one symbiote, so they would just have to make him different, I guess, which I think they could do. Just I don't know how fast they would add another symbiote character.
You should hear.
Yeah.
You should hear Chris's idea for Deadpool.
Oh,
dude,
my gosh. Yes.
I've read
Dude.
a lot of the fan ones, like the the fan interpretations of what his kit could be and stuff.
Tell him what
Like-
you want for an ultimate.
I said this a while ago. If they add Deadpool, I want his ultimate to be just a giant chimichanga truck that you crash into the enemy.
That'd be great.
Mine,
It'd
And
also
mine
be
explode.
cool if they like work something in with like the fourth wall breaking. Like maybe he
Yes.
could like reach up and like change his health bar with someone else's, and it's like
Yes.
yeah, just something like that. That kind of
that's
like
not bad.
he realizes he's in a video game sort of thing.
Yeah, or he like cracks the screen.
Mine was actually a little bit different, and it's pretty close to his type of lore. But mine was have you ever heard of the game Nintendogs?
Yeah, of
Do
course,
you remember how they get on the screen?
dude. That just reminded me. I think I need to go feed my Nintendogs.
No,
It's been like 15 years.
imagine Deadpool just blocks your enemy's screen with his face while just saying like jokes and stuff.
Yeah, just being like annoying. That'd be
Just
great.
like blocking the screen so you can't see what's on your screen. You can still shoot and
Speaking
stuff.
gibberish.
Yeah,
You
he's like,
can't
"Hey, I'm
aim.
blocking your screen right now. I hope this isn't interfering."
That'd be great.
That would be pretty good. Okay, so I think we have a couple more questions for you before we get going here. So I think other than that, let me ask you actually real quick to capitalize on this this update thing for content and wise. What do you think is like a healthy amount? Like, do you think every couple of weeks, like, what kind of amounts of skins would you like to see from this game? Because like, we're all assuming, and they usually deliver. You know, when it comes to like skins, what would you like to see in the shop, and how often?
I with skins specifically, I if they keep the level of quality up, I'd be okay if it was like an every month sort of thing, I guess, like a new batch of skins. That is if they keep the level of like detail going up on them, because my fear is that someday they run out of like really good ideas and start selling like recolored or other games call them like chromas.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're going to, because everything that we've seen production wise has been like very, very high level production. But like if they're truly great skins that like as good as the ones that they've shown us so far, like once a month. But branching off of that question, I think the updates don't necessarily have to just be like cosmetics. Like the the sky is kind of the limit with this game, right? So, you know, I think it would be cool if there's like limited time game modes as events. And I would consider that to be like an update and good content for the game. Like just off the top of my head, like a game mode that like forces you into like X-Men or Avenger teams. And
Okay.
they could
Yeah.
like
He's
like
talking
cool,
You're talking my language, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just stuff like that. And like you were mentioning off camera real fast about like possibly doing like a Christmas event with
Yes.
like Groot as like a tree or something.
Christmas
yeah,
tree.
Like,
Yes.
yes. So I think they don't necessarily have to be skins. I would love to see a constant influx of content for this game, because I think that content can extend to more than just like new characters, new skins, new maps. I think it could be game modes and like in-game events and just, I don't know, just fun stuff.
I thought of Infinite Dash Black Panther Soccer.
Yep.
Yes, bro.
That-
Boom, bro.
So good, right? That'd be so
Yeah.
cool.
yeah, just
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like the sky really is the limit. Or like, you know, races where it's like you're racing through like a city skyline with the web swingers, right?
That'd be cool.
Like
I-
Spider-Man races.
I want to do like a Captain America dash run where you're just charging with your shield and you have to hit all the targets before the enemies
Yeah.
do. That'd be cool. They have a
Yeah,
lot
also-
that they could actually do that, you know.
Yeah, they really have so many options in terms of like game modes, just what they could do with their characters, and especially the themes, because it's just Marvel.
They have
They can do whatever they want.
we've said this, 75 to 80 plus years of successful remedies. We say this every episode. They
Yeah, we
have
gotta remind
almost
people.
100 years of successful remedies, you know, of what does and what does not work. Skins, characters, heroes, everything.
Yeah, they
Like,
have so much to work with.
they
Like,
have so much, and they know, you know, like symbiote, like I was saying, symbiote Spider-Man. That's probably easily going to be like one of the most sought after
yeah, like
skins.
a amazing skin that everyone's gonna want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a particular? Is there a skin for a character that you desire?
Well, symbiote Jeff.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
Finally,
Symbiote
another
Jeff
symbiote
is-
Jeff enjoyer. Oh
I
my
have
god.
I have the Marvel Snap version of it. It's terrifyingly awesome.
I'll have to check that out.
It is so good. I think Peach Momoko actually was the one that made it, which is the same person that they have the skin for Spider-Man and
Right.
Psylocke.
Designing some new skins. Yeah.
That would be so cool. So
Yeah. I think it's really cool that they're also pulling in like not just like inspired by these like creatives that have found success in like comics and stuff like that. They're just straight up like hiring them. It's like, hey, we don't want to do an inspired by Peach Momoko. We'll just get the real thing.
right.
So it's
Yeah.
like I think it's really, really cool. And like the artistic just like the artistry of the entire game, like it looks like a moving comic book. Like it definitely looks like a game that has real artistic flourish. Like it's not one of those cheap looking, like made in like I don't know, I don't want to disparage anyone's content, but like have you ever seen those videos about like if Superman was made in Unreal, and it's like it looks cool on the surface, but it's just it's just hollow. Like there's
It,
no,
look,
like,
it
art
looks kind
to
of
it.
dead inside. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you talking about the
it-
Unreal 5 engine things?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of them. It's like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
if this was like, what if Mario was made in Unreal 5? And like, again, not disparaging anyone's content. They're cool as a concept, but like shinier and more polygons doesn't always like. I would prefer a game with like real
Yeah.
soul and like artistry to it than
Yeah, more
just
full
like
of life.
than just more fidelity, right?
I do like I do like that Marvel Rivals has gone with a shell shaded style.
Yeah.
Ish, you know,
Yeah.
I think that's phenomenal. I mean, it looks appealing. It doesn't look like it's trying too hard, yet it still feels like you're actually walking around in a comic book at the same time, but yet
Yeah.
you're not. It's like its own style of like, this is what a comic book would look like if it was a kind of like more three-dimensional kind of, you know, realm. I think that's great. I think what they've done so far is definitely phenomenal, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely has it has a distinct look to it, and it's starting to like really cement itself within that look as well, because like we were talking about character designs earlier, like for instance, okay, Iron Man's design in this game, it's clearly Iron Man, right? But it's Marvel Rivals Iron Man. Like you could
Yeah.
pick this specific version of Iron Man with this art design, like out of a lineup of
Yeah.
100 of them, right? Like it sticks out, and yeah, the art style is just really good and consistent, and I don't know, looks great.
One thing actually we're gonna talk about really fast is the China beta. It's this week. Is that right?
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
it's
It's
First
this
week.
week.
Yep.
Are we gonna be able to play that? Do we even know yet?
No.
I just
Chaos, me and you are not going to get to play the
I
China
really
beta.
wanna play-
Don't
I
get your
really-
hopes up.
are if okay.
Book a flight, man. Book a flight.
I was going to say, Chaos,
to-
you want to
go
go
to
play? Let's
China.
go right now.
Mr. Guides, if you get the ability to play it, what is the first thing you're going for right off the bat? Like, what are you gonna play? What is the character hero? What you're going for?
Well, if Psylocke is in it, definitely
Oh, yeah.
definitely whatever the new characters are, I'll definitely play those. But then once I kind of got the grasp of those, I'm going back to my boy. I'm going back to my man, and he needs no introduction. I'm going back to 19 inches.
He needs that venom. He needs it.
Okay, on the real though, when you were doing the playtest, what was your actual? I really want to know, what is your take on Bucky and Cap? Did you enjoy them?
Yeah, they were great. Like you kind of said, it was very surprising to that Bucky was the hook character. Like there's always a hook character in these types of games. Not even just hero shooters, but like competitive team-based games in general. It's always a hook character. So was kind of surprised that Bucky was it, but I took him into the lab. I figured out a whole bunch of really cool like animation canceling tech, and there is just so much you can do on that character. Like he's definitely going to be like the noob stomper character, I think, where people just like pick him up, put like an hour of practice onto him, and then just go like 30-0. Like
Yeah.
he was
He's-
very broken, especially within
Yeah.
like lower to medium levels of play. I think he was still really good at highest levels, but that character is going to terrorize like new players for sure.
Yeah, he's kind of a stomp from Chaos. I was gonna say we found he had a one-shot combo before he was even like available
Yeah.
to play. Just from watching the trailer, we were
Well,
like,
yeah.
wait, he has a one-tap combo.
When
Yep.
it's funny because so actually I had just messaged you. I think the day prior, I was asking you some questions before the playtest, and 20 minutes in, or it was like 20 minutes after texting you. We actually, I don't know if you remember this, we matched each other in the first game of matchmaking.
Matched against each other.
Yeah, we did. I was like,
Oh, no.
GG's.
Who won?
I think I did. You had, I think you. I think
That's a
you-
team gap. It's a team
I
gap.
think you. Well, you had Necros on your team. Funny enough.
It's a team gap. No, I'm just
Team
kidding.
gap.
Necros is phenomenal. I'm kidding.
I was just playing Captain America though at the time. And did you see that Captain America has a animation cancel?
Yeah, they all basically every character I found has like at least one
It's
cancelable
amazing.
combo.
It's
and I'm
amazing.
really who knows if that's going to stay in it for the final release. But it is really fun to go into the lab and just be like, oh, this cancels into this, but not into that. And just like we were talking about earlier with Scarlet, like all these characters seem really simple on the surface, but you really get in there and start labbing, and it's like some of these characters have like fighting game DNA in them. Like,
Yeah,
like
there's
Captain
so much-
America is
There's a lot of
seriously, like,
potential.
yeah, there's like I was fighting like 7 or 8 string combos on Captain America that all
It's
like
so
cancel into
cool.
each other.
Yeah.
it's
I
really
really hope they keep the cancels in. It,
I-
it leads to like a lot more fluent like combos you can do with characters and just the way they work. To be honest,
yeah.
more
What-
flowy.
One thing I really enjoyed about Cap was actually something that not a lot of people realize this, and it took me a long time for me to figure it out. But he had his, how he's like how every character has a standard left click, fly. I can't even speak. Every character has like a left click, style of shooting, right? Like obviously Punisher
Yeah.
shooting his guns, Iron Man shoots blasters. Captain America has a punch projectile.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, as long as you hit the first 2 punches, if you back up or anything, he throws the shield out as a part of his like main combo, and that actually bounces between people if it's close enough to someone. The fact that he
Yeah.
has a projectile as his secondary or as his main fire after his like first 2 initial hits I can't recall another hero in any game that has that in a hero shooter. And I'm like, that is so cool. I like that because it feels like this is his own build, and
Yeah.
kudos to
That
them
is
for
that is like really unique to have a character like basically go from melee to ranged back to melee without like it doesn't determine his like main play style, right?
Right.
But it's just like something
Mhm.
cool that he can do. And it's just like there's a lot of very hidden technical depth in a lot of these characters, and it's just really fun to find them.
Yeah, I thought that in general, I hope they don't get rid of those, but for the most part, I think that the play test and us being able to really indulge with these brand new characters, that was such an honor to have. So, but other than that, Chris, do you have any other questions?
No, that was it actually.
I think I'm also good. Do you have any questions for us, rival, Mr. Guides?
Um, what is
Oh, he's
one
got one.
thing that yeah, well I'm finding it as I go. It's like the Steve Carell, like sometimes I just start a sentence and kind of figure it out as I go.
By
Yeah,
all
he's gonna
means,
figure it out.
I'm all ears.
What is the number one fear that you have about this game?
Oh, I'd love to answer this one. Actually, Chris, you go first.
They've already kind of like dispelled me away from this being a thing, but I'm afraid that they'll mess up the difference from fun with competitive in terms of like how they balance things.
Yeah, it's
Because
a
they've
very
said,
very delicate, isn't it? The way
yeah,
you have
they've
to
said
balance that.
they already said they had separate people working on fun and people who work on just competitive slash tournament. But a
Mm.
lot of games fall just from being like the gameplay's really fun, but then they try to either push competitive or they push competitive and the game is no longer fun. And I just hope
Right.
they keep it like right in the middle to where people can just play quick play for the whole game's lifespan and have just as much fun as they do with competitive.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
That's a pretty good answer. I think for me, my main fear is this game. I'm hoping it's not. I'm trying not to say it out loud so it doesn't come to tuition or doesn't come to real life. But I want this game more than anything, and I mean anything, to succeed. I want it to succeed so badly. My biggest fear is that they don't have enough skins for us in the beginning, and they don't have like enough content for us in the beginning. That's my only fear.
Yeah,
Um,
that's something I also feared. I
that
really hope that does not happen.
I come from Halo, and as a game of as big of the stature that it was, we got nothing for almost a full year. And Marvel Rivals has done everything so good so far
Mhm.
that it seems and it feels like if it's too good to be true, it is. And I'm hoping to God that they're the anomaly. Like I hope that they are like this, like they are the people that are like, hey guys, you remember like when Baldur's Gate came out and it was like it made every developer like rethink. Basically,
Yeah.
like everyone was just like, hey, like this is what it should be feeling like when we buy a game. Marvel Rivals is a free game, and if they come out swinging like Baldur's Gate 3 with the level of like everyone's happy, there's no chance that this game will flop. Like it'll do. That's my biggest fear. I just want
Yeah.
success for the game. Like that's so I want to be able to make as much content.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy myself. I want to get mad at the game. I want
in a good way. In a good
In
way.
a good way, yeah. You want to be passionate
Yeah.
about the game.
I want to be,
Exactly.
I want them to be transparent and just talk to us and just say, hey, look, what do you guys want? This is what's gonna take this much time. If this is a problem, it's gonna take us this. I just want them to communicate and dude, that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah,
That's all you need from developers.
all I
now.
want, all I want is the game to just feel alive when it's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it to feel like, because honestly, with the way the beta was, I would play that from when the beta came out to today if it was still out,
Right.
1000%.
because I liked it so much that if like the actual release of the game is like better than that, I'm satisfied with that.
I can't wait to see how much they've held back. Like what
I
they've
know.
done.
I'm so excited to see
I'm
what they
so
have.
juiced.
Just give me the game. Oh my
just
god.
give me the game. Did you
me
have
the game.
withdrawals when you stopped playing, guides?
It definitely felt weird that first day where I was just like, "Oh, maybe I'll get on for a few matches. And I'm like, oh, wait, I can't.
It's
The
gone.
game is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
It's such a
some-
sad feeling. It's such a fun game.
I
Yeah.
put in 120 hours in the first week or the
Oh
first
my
season.
gosh, I know. I have 180 on it right now, and I think
Mine's almost
like insane.
hitting after the play test. It's almost in the 400s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I played. I loved it so much. I was even playing against bots during the play test. Like
Yeah, the bots were kind of savage sometimes,
they
honestly.
were.
That's
People
what Chaos was
roasted,
telling me.
bro. Okay, I got roasted for saying this, but people were like, "Stop playing bots. Play like queue into matchmaking." And I'm like, "There's no matches right now because it's just a small server." And I was like, "I'm just gonna go play bots." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Surprisingly, the bots they
Yeah,
they
if you turn them up, if you turn the difficulty up, like they were better than
the best
like a lot of
AI."
players.
The best AI I've ever. Yes, I wasn't gonna say that out
Yeah.
loud, but you said it. Yes, the healers actually healed you, and I don't know if you notice
That's-
this, but when you play and you pick a character, a bot on your team will also pick your supportive what is it, your
like
alliance
the team
character.
up.
Yeah, they'll just pick,
Yeah.
like if I'm playing Storm, automatically Thor will get picked on my team, and if I'm playing
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Venom will get picked, and
I
that's
did-
awesome.
It's making me think, man, like, can I just have these bots as my teammates for ranked? Like,
Yeah.
Dude, they heal too really well. Have you did you ever play like it on hard difficulty where you're trying to like one-on-one like a healer and they have a Venom next to them and the Venom is just like they're healing the Venom consistently and the Venom's just pressuring you?
no, I didn't play too much against bots. I
It
hopped
was-
in one time and I just remember being surprised. I was like, oh, these
Yeah.
guys are not messing around. Okay.
Yeah, you can't just go in and just fry out the whole team. So, but yeah, I think that's it then. Yeah, does anyone else have anything else they want to say?
No. For me,
This-
it's it.
This was actually I really enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna be really honest.
Yeah, I did too. It was really fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And I do just want to give a big shout out to like your community and my community and the Marvel Rivals community in general, just because like I said earlier, my favorite part of this entire experience and this channel and this adventure is just like feeling like I'm part of like a really, really great community. Like there's
Yeah.
so much excitement and like people are reaching out and like wanting to collaborate over the game and like just talk about it. And so, yeah, big shout out to everyone. I hope as the game, goes into its first year that we keep this energy and like this positivity and this type of community up. And game's going to be really awesome if we do.
Guides, it's been an absolute honor to have you, man. You are more than welcome to come on anytime. Anytime, man. The door is open
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, anytime you want to come on, say something, even if it's just for a little bit, you're always welcome.
Yeah, you're
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you
Great
for
having
having me
you.
again,
You've
man.
become a part of the podcast family and
You're part of the fam.
your
Part
fam,
of the
dude.
fam.
Your
Just like
fam.
that. Well, it took 1 hour to get into the fam.
Actually, it took a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We've had some scheduling errors. But
No.
thanks again for having me, guys.
Yeah, if you guys can, please subscribe to the Marvel Rivals Guides guy here. If you can, I'm gonna have
Go
his.
show him some love.
Yeah, I'm gonna have his information in my description here. Don't forget to as well always subscribe to Skinny Lad Chris. He's amazing, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And if you guys like this video, please leave a comment below telling us what your favorite thing was and like the video. And yeah, all right, you guys. Well, until next Monday, we'll see you then. Peace.
Later, Rivalers.